Hola, ¿qué tal? Estamos aquí de nuevo en Lata para Explosión Visual. Estamos con el Surfer Joe desde Italia para el Abierto de surf instrumental aquí en Lata. Y vamos a hacerle unas pequeñas preguntas de lo que él piensa acerca del surf en México, en Italia y cómo ve la escena a futuro. Así que vamos a empezar. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Pleasure to meet you.
We are making this.
Okay.
Okay, the first question. What's the best show you have in your life? And why?
The best show. That is a difficult question. I don't know, there are many that are on the same level. I think one interesting show that I've done in my life was in Italy, in a festival called Summer Jamboree. And I was actually not even playing as myself. I was with my previous band, the Dudley Riders. I was still living in the Caribbean, in Antigua. And it was not even my show because I was supporting Danny Emes, Dedio Grande in a tour that we done together, and that was 2008. There was a fantastic show because the Summer Jamboree is a festival that attracts a lot of people. It's mainly a rockabilly festival, but there's a surf or a Hawaiian attraction on the beach, and there were about 8,000 people. That was definitely one experience to remember. Other shows, definitely the shows at the Surfer Joe Summer Festival, the shows that I've done in California, these are definitely memorable for a lot of aspects, both for the show itself, for the company, for the environment, for the organization. You know, there are many memorable shows, to be honest. I cannot say there is one preference.
Okay. Well, that's something important that you said, that always rockabilly scene and the surf scene, some mix it in some places. Here in Mexico, that happened. But what do you think? Here in Mexico, the rockabilly scene is so separate. They are always making problems between the bands, and there are two big groups of the people that follow that bands. But what do you think about the surf scene? Do you think that happened in Italy, in the surf scene?
Well, the rockabilly scene is huge everywhere. It's huge in Europe, it's huge in the United States. It is even funny that you mentioned, this is my opinion, but not on my opinion, but I would say that it's funny that rockabilly goes well with surf. Because surf is what in the 60s destroyed rockabilly. Surf has been the passage between rockabilly and the music of the Beatles. But you know, today everything is mixed in the word vintage, and the word vintage is often misunderstood. None of these genres are actually vintage. All the musical genre has actually developed. So now we have a modern surf scene, and there's a modern rockabilly, neo-rockabilly, and all the various things. Now, the surf scene compared to the rockabilly scene is much smaller. So I would not say that inside the surf scene there are divisions worldwide. Actually, there's a forum that you know, the surfguitar101.com. I can mention it because it's basically the only one where everybody goes for surf. Put us all under the same roof, and it's a way to share vision. Of course, there are discussions going on different waves, you know, different attitudes toward the music, whether it's traditional, whether it's more progressive, something is going almost metal, you know. But I think that the surf community is quite together, is quite united. There are not really divisions.
I like to know that there are not really divisions, because that's a big problem here in Mexico. You don't know, but there's a story of a long time ago. Well, we got the question that we wonder, how do you start your life in the surf? How you meet surf? How you met that how you discover that you can play surf, and why?
Why? I don't know, because it's fun. Like many other people, I think I got involved in surf music in the middle of the 90s. In my case, it is not because of the Pulp Fiction explosion on '94, which literally saw thousands of surf bands growing everywhere. I think I reached surf music separately from that. I don't know why. Something comes on in your life and you decide to go one way. All I remember, and I remember very well, that like many other people, I did not arrive directly to the instrumental surf music, which is surf music, because surf music was born instrumental for a lot of historical reasons. But I got close to the California sound with the Beach Boys sound. I've been singing for a long time Beach Boys music. I'm proud of that. I even went on stage with the Beach Boys once. And these actually somehow brought me towards wanting to know more. And so I got into the instrumental surf music. I discovered that. I started buying record, understanding why and how this music came from. Got interested in it. So I cannot tell you exactly why or how. I think there are many factors that just happen to be like that, and I'm proud because it's much fun. I like the atmosphere of surf music, definitely, and I also think that surf music, if we look at the historical meaning of surf music, is something that should have to stay in California and finish in 1964-65, because it's part of a cultural revolution of California and the United States that is difficult to understand for all of us who are outside of California. Me especially, I'm from Italy, But it's somehow like any other musical genre, like I was saying before, it evolves. And it's important that something grew up out of that, and still today is going on. And I would say that today the surf movement around the world is pretty active and strong. There are lots of new records, lots of new things coming up. But going back to the question, I don't know. I just got involved into it.
Okay, yes. That's something that comes inside out, that you hear something, maybe like it, maybe no, but if there's something that moves something inside of you, just explode out, What happened with the surf music in Italy? There are a lot of bands or just a few of what happened?
Well, surf music in Italy started about the end of the 80s, something like that. I know friends and I know guys that are still in existing surf bands, like the Wet Tones, who got involved into that in the 80s through John and the Night Riders, so the surf revival. There's been some bands coming up in the 90s and following the Pulp Fiction era and the middle 90s era. And of these, I can surely mention the Bradipos 4, good friend of mine, and are still a very active surf band. And there were at the time other bands like Cosmonauti or Scriteriati, other bands coming from Rome, and so on diffused. Nowadays, I don't know how the scene is. It's definitely smaller than it was 10 years ago. When I started Surfaggio Music, it was 2002, and I did it mainly to put together the Italian surf band, just probably for fun. And in 2003, we did the first Surfaggio Summer Festival with that in mind, so putting together all the surf bands. So someone told me, why do you do that? We all know all these bands, why? And I said, yes, you know them, but have you ever seen them all together in the same festival? That sounded like a very original project, and it went very well. In fact, the Surfaggio Summer Festival, as you know, is pretty strong today and is going very well. But the scene in Italy has gone a bit down. There are probably 2 or 3 bands that are working in the traditional surf music way. Other bands that actually takes more the progressive influence of it. But there are some good bands, and the good thing is that all these bands travel more than before. So we used to go around in Europe. Now traveling through Europe is pretty easy, and I consider that a good thing because you make a lot of experience. You know people that speak another language, have another view, another culture, and these definitely make it easy to get influences for your music and mix up the different genre, different things, evolving surf music and the genre itself. So this is it for now for Italy.
Okay. Well, here in Mexico, we are having more and more new bands of surf. That's something good, I guess. I forget what I mean just a second ago, but anyway. What do you think about Mexico now that you are here? And more specifically, what do you think about the Mexican surf music?
Well, I have to say that it was exciting to me coming to Mexico because I have friends that have come on tour here, like the Bang Mustang, the Charades from Finland, and other people. And everybody told me, no, you got to go to Mexico because Mexico is something incredible. The audience is incredible. Up to now, I have to say that this is true. I've just done 2 shows. We'll see what's going to happen in the next week. I have to say that Mexico is very interesting as a market for surf music. I've been looking into it because that's my job. You know, I check the bands around, even because of the booking thing. So I have to know most of the stuff that is going on. And it's interesting because I was writing it somewhere yesterday that it looks like what it was California in the beginning. Like there's a lot of attention. I noticed that the audiences are very young, which is also very interesting because surf music around the world sort of, well, not around the world, I have to be honest, and my friends Americans don't have to be upset with me, but I say that in America, the audiences for surf music are old. In Europe, they are middle-aged. Or better, you get people from any age. You know, it depends if in that particular place where you are and your group of friends consider surf music cool. Then at that point, you play cool music. But it's not easy, you know, there's a lot of everything. Here in Mexico, there's such an energy towards this thing. I see that the guys are looking at the band, not only they dance, but also they listen to the music. And one important thing is that they ask questions. Because I think that surf music, together like other genres, but surf music in particular, is very much related to the technical aspect of the music. Like you're talking about the Fender amplifiers, the guitars, the reverb tank, you know. Someone said if you don't have the reverb, it's not surf music. I don't think that's true, but there's a lot of technical things. You see, nowadays you don't just say, I go grab a guitar and play the surf music. You want to have the reverb, you want to have the cool sound. So to get this thing is good when people come and ask you questions. How do you do this? Why you do this? What do you suggest? What do you think is good? You know, this demonstrated there's an interest going on about the whole cultural phenomenon. It's not just about the music per se or buying the records or this band is better than the other. It's about the whole thing actually. So yes, Mexican surf scene, I see it very, very cool and definitely excited in the next week to know more about that.
Okay, that's good to hear because that makes us feel better and stronger to make more and more music. Well, I don't play surf music, but I guess the people who play surf music will feel motivated to make it better. Anyway, I need to use my cheat sheet because I can't remember the questions I wrote. But do you remember a good experience here in Mexico or something?
Too early to say.
Oh, just what to say. Okay.
Too early to say. You have to ask me this question in a week time. I've just done 2 shows, and. Just done 2 shows on Thursday at the Gato Calavera and yesterday in Leon at the Eyeball Bar, and both shows were very good. I found very nice people, a lot of people that knew my songs and the songs I wanted to play. Some of them were asking for some songs, so this is pretty exciting for me. So, well, at the moment, everything is nice. Let's see if all the shows even next week are going to go well. As well, you know.
What do you think about the Gato Calavera bar?
Oh, I've seen many of those places around the world. I mean, it's a punk bar, and is a type of place that is perfect for modern surf music because you know, it's a kind of place that is done for music. You go there, you feel home, you're free to make a mess. You're free to dance, you're free to shout. The volume is loud because, you know, this is live music. In a music venue, the volume is supposed to be loud. I think it's normal and it's even cool, you know. So I think it's a good bar. I hope they continue doing surf music. I know that they play mostly punk and metal or things like that, and which is good because normally that audience likes surf music somehow. Even because surf music is the father of many genres, in my opinion, and has influences into punk, metal, and other stuff. So it's normal that some aspects of the music are in common. But anyway, I really do hope that that bar continues doing the music because it's a very cool place.
We think the same. Yes, we really like this place. Oh my God, I can't understand my... Okay. What do you think? Yes. What do you think that will happen with the surf music in Mexico, in the whole world, in Italy, of course?
What do you think, sorry?
What do you think that will happen in the future?
Oh. Well, I don't know. There's an evolution, as I've been telling, in the genre. I'm one of the not many people, I have to say, still keeping playing a traditional kind of surf music, but there's a lot of everything. In this moment, there's a lot of attention for the genre in this way. In the 60s, there was the 60s, first wave. You know, this is how we all started. Then you got the 80s, there has been a sort of revival, a sort of listening to the old songs with modern sounds. Then there's been the Pulp Fiction explosion, and for some reason Tarantino make surf music look cool. And apart from Tarantino, there has been a rediscovery of what happened in the past. Now, sadly, at the end of the 90s, the beginning of the 2000s, many of those bands, many of the surf bands, thought that surf music was just the beginning to go somewhere else. So surf music was not the arrival. So many bands actually disappeared, or went in to do something else, or, you know, they just say, oh, yeah, okay, there's surf music, but they consider that boring, instead of developing that. So, and in this moment, what is called the fourth wave of surf music, I think there's a knowledge about the genre. Now there's internet.